Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I have a message for Aquarius, and to let you know how this works, I've asked my guides and spirit to bring a message through the cards that will be deeply positive and helpful for you as you navigate your week. As I continue talking, they will keep sending me information in words, so the reading also kind of unfolds as we go through it together. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, and I strongly urge you to consider subscribing to this channel so that you can stay in contact with this high vibrational information every week. It can really benefit you and help you move forward on your path to have some kind of guidance like that every week. And if you're returning, I'm so glad that you're here. I always love seeing you, and I can't wait to get started. I love doing these readings, and I appreciate your time and energy. So let's get started, Aquarius, because this is a bit of a weird one. Just what you wanted to hear, right? We've got the Eight of Cups for this, the energy that the universe that the universe sends you this week. I'm laughing at myself here. This is a chance for some deep spiritual healing. You are asked to come to higher ground, and for me, higher ground is always that spiritual perspective, the higher way of looking at things. And okay, I'm sorry, they're talking to me at the same time I'm explaining this to you, so stay on one thing. You may be asked to leave some things behind, whether this is relationships, cares about relationships, disappointments, woes. I'm not feeling like this is about severing ties with the past. So if there's a current relationship that you're struggling with, the answer that I'm getting is not about breaking up, but it's about leaving behind things that don't work. Disappointments, expectations, negative patterning, any of that. So dropping all that baggage and getting yourself to a better place. I absolutely love the colors on this card. The pinks and the orange, pinks and the blues and the purples. There's just such a chance and a potential for growth. And it's almost like the journey is illuminated by that turquoise, the healing color, where you're able to feel the flow once more and feel the truth of that flow. And that's what the universe is presenting you with this week. Now we get the King of Pentacles, and it's almost like there's a desire for this wise counselor. I love this card too. In fact, I pretty much love every card in this deck, so I probably should just stop saying that, shouldn't I? I'm feeling that you're desiring like a strong male counsel, like a father figure, or just some kind of like wisdom that you feel is solid and earthy and makes sense. Like you just want that reassurance and that encouragement. And you know, this King of Pentacles is also kind of saying, hey lady, or hey man, you're on your own here. You don't really need the counsel of this older person, of this wiser perhaps person. You don't need to see the validation on the earth to know that you're doing the right thing by walking away from these negative patterns, but for some reason you're craving that. And it's really interesting, the advice. We have the Two of Pentacles. I'm going to hide the last card. It's going to be a surprise. We've got the Two of Pentacles. Pentacles are his kingdom, things that are seen, choices that are tangible. And so she's kind of juggling two pentacles, and this card is so fascinating. We've got this very tumultuous, dramatic background going on here, and a safer, grounded, earthy thing going here. So it's almost like a little microcosm of these two cards. We have the tumultuousness that you're trying to leave behind. And then you also have that earthy kind of wisdom. So maybe this person is trying to give you advice, and it seems like it's a good idea because maybe it's practical, maybe it makes sense, maybe it's safe. This whole thing with the rocks in the tree, it's a safe place. And so it seems like the choice is easy. And so, because the choice would be between this dramatic thing and then the safe thing. And at the same time, you're kind of being asked to leave both of those behind, right? So Let me regroup and see where they want me to go. Stick with the earthly counselor. You believe that he's got something that you don't. This father figure maybe has experience or wisdom that you don't have, and there's a pretty strong wanting to lean on him. You've got the two choices in front of you. You know what to do with this tumultuous energy, but you also are connected just by virtue of being through to that wiser wisdom. Really good. But it's like it's behind you. It's already supporting you, but maybe you're not seeing it. Because then we get the Four of Swords, and that is so, it's just stasis. We're not sure. We're not moving. Again, you're wanting this person to kind of tell you what to do, to help shoot you forward. And just some of it is because it doesn't make sense to you, but other of it is that there's an indecision here. It's feeling hard to cut those ties that we were talking about with this card. It's feeling hard to do this. And so you're just waiting for someone or something to give you a clear indication of what you're supposed to do. This last sword is unknown to you. And even what to do here, do I go with this choice? Do I go with that choice? What do I do? It's just not a clear way forward. But then, ta-da, we get the High Priestess, which says that your intuition is working overtime for you, coming up with the wisdom that you need. You don't need this guy's counsel. All he can tell is earthly knowledge from his own experience. This is the direct line to your guides and to your higher self and to the knowing that is your gift and your own ability. You don't need the counsel of that other person because he's coming at it from his own perspective. And while there might be some wisdom in that for you, he's not looking at it through the eyes of your soul and your soul growth. And so while he may be saying, do the safe thing, get yourself to that drier place, stay out of the water, don't get yourself so emotionally entangled, part of that emotional entanglement is connected to your healing process. So if you're feeling some icky emotions and you're having to process them out, that's a good sign, because it means that when they're trying to get out of your body and they're trying to leave your energy field, if you keep rationalizing your way around feeling that, it's not going to get you anywhere and you're stuck with these two cards. So you've got intuition, lady, the High Priestess, working behind the scenes. And what is fascinating is look at their hands. They're kind of doing the same thing. They're both up in the air, but she is a vessel. She is receiving that divine wisdom. She is receiving that intuition that is your healthiest, best, and most choice way forward, because it takes into account your soul path. It takes into account where you are at any given moment, and it knows what to do. She's kind of like, I don't know. So you can't figure this out through your thoughts. You can't figure this out through the earth. You can't figure this out through the evidence that's presented to you. You have to trust that in the right time, you're going to get the intuition about it. You're going to get the knowing about it. And you also have to trust that this power is stronger than this power. That this queen, I'm calling her queen, that the High Priestess is stronger than the earthly wisdom presented to you. So there's so many different levels that this reading is speaking to. I'm not sure how to kind of encapsulate it or wrap it up for you. They're saying go back to the Four of Swords. So these three swords pointing upwards are already that divine guidance. It's you sitting here saying, well, do I follow and do another divine guidance, or do I come up with a different solution? You know, maybe this time I'm going to put the sword down. Swords up point to the divine. She's receiving her information from above her, which is that crown chakra, the divine connection. When the swords point down into the earth, we're talking about kind of discharging or manifesting that energy downwards, but it goes into the earth. It grounds into the earth. And he's not sure what to do. He's got a sword in his lap. He's not sure whether the sword goes down or whether it goes up. And that's where you are. You're not sure whether to listen to evidence that's presented to you rationally or that seeming hidden irrational feeling. Sometimes she starts slow. You know, sometimes she just comes in little inklings and little feelings, and it doesn't come all at once until it does, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, well, of course that's what I have to do, or of course this is the reason why, or of course this is the way forward. It's just it trickles in little bit by little bit, but then it goes. So some of this Eight of Cups is also talking about healing your own empowerment, to be okay with trusting a timing that doesn't always work on the earthly clock, to be okay with a divine timing that moves in its own way. So letting go of the dependence on that earthly knowledge, earthly wisdom, it's kind of a big ask, and it's a big trust. But that's what the universe is presenting you with this week, an opportunity to really go that direction. So if you've got questions about that, please reach out in the comments. I always love to hear from you. And I invite you to check out my website, trueguidancetarot.com. There's some awesome stuff on there, one-on-one readings over Zoom, as well as a Phoenix Path program for those of you that really want to go deep and really want to connect to your higher self, your spiritual self. So I will look forward to seeing you next time. Have an awesome week.